everyone who has the privilege of a public pension should pay their fair share for their public pension. That's all this is about. And the courts now try to muck this up to make it about judicial independence. I want the judiciary to be independent. I just don't want them to be a part of an elite special class of citizens who get better benefits at a lower cost than everybody else in the state, and do that at the expense of the taxpayers. It simply doesn't make sense. And the recent decision has turned our regular understanding of language upside down. Every one of you who's out there who works either in the public sector or the private sector knows the difference between salary and benefits. Everybody seems to understand that salary is what you get paid in your paycheck, and your benefits are the other things that your employer provides to you, sometimes with you sharing in the cost. Retirement benefits, health benefits, and other benefits of employment, separate from your salary. Everyone seems to understand that, except for Judge Linda Feinberg, who has decided that salary means something much more than just what's in your paycheck. It's a decision that is self-interested. It's protecting her own pocketbook and the pocketbook of her colleagues. It's to win a popularity contest in the lunchroom. That's what this is about. Because the common sense reading of the language could come to no other conclusion that salary means salary and benefits mean benefits. And the group of people, of course, who are getting stuck by this decision are the people who always get stuck by these types of decisions, and that's the taxpayers. All the other folks, the other 500,000 public employees, are playing by the rules, and they're making their payments. The 432 active state judges believe that somehow they should be treated differently, and they torture the language of the Constitution in order to protect their own pecuniary interest. It's wrong. Especially wrong because judges in New Jersey already enjoy the most lavish benefits of any public employees in the state. As we mentioned, there's a $100,000 difference between the average salary of a state employee and the average salary of a Superior Court judge. And it's closer to $140,000 when you make the difference between the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and the average state employee. Judges want to stay contributing only 3% of their salary to support their pension, a pension where they can receive 75% of their salary after 10 years of service, only 10 years of service, much less than anyone else who receives a public pension in New Jersey. The total cost for the average judge over their lifetime of just the pension benefits is $2.3 million. $2.3 million. And for that, they contribute $59,300 on average. You do the math. The rest is the responsibility of the taxpayer. And the judges say that that's what the Constitution requires. But it's the definition of a broken pension system. It's why we made these changes in a bipartisan way earlier this year actually, and why we have to stand up now and finish the job. And there is an election in 2 weeks. And everyone behind me has stood up and said, if the courts do not do the right thing, we will do the right thing by the people and put this on the ballot in November of 2012. Every Democrat in the legislature and every Democratic legislative candidate should have to answer that question now. Where do they stand on the issue? Do not hide behind, well, we'll wait to see what the courts decide. We'll wait to see what the courts decide too. But what is the answer going to be? If the courts decide to support this self-interested opinion, then what is your position on the issue? Are you for fundamental fairness for all public employees, or are you for a special deal for this special class of public servants? It's a very simple question. A question that all the people standing with me and behind me have already answered. And there is no reason in the next 2 weeks why the Democrats should not have to answer the exact same question. The public should know what the people in the legislature are going to do if they send them there 2 weeks from today. They know what I'm advocating for. They know what the leaders standing behind me are advocating for. And now they need to know what the Democrats are going to advocate for. It may not be the thing that makes the decision of their vote, but it certainly is an important bit of information that they have a right to know before they go into the voting booth 2 weeks from today. It is dismaying that the response we've seen already from Democrats has been to obfuscate and to not answer the question. They try to push it off into other issues, as they often do. The fact of the matter is very simple. Do you support fundamental fairness, or do you support all the other state workers paying anywhere between 6.5% and 10% to pension contributions and have judges just pay 3%? Do you support a system where the average public worker in the public employee retirement system pays 50% of the cost of their pension, while the judges pay not quite 10% of the cost of their pension? Do you believe that disparity is fair, or don't you? Everyone standing here has said we don't think it's fair, and if necessary, we will take the steps through the Constitution to put that question of fairness to the voters and let them decide. Where are the Democrats? Where are all the Democrats who said they wanted to protect the public workers by voting against pension and health benefit reform, even though it was going to be enormously damaging to the taxpayer? You would think they would be standing up and saying, absolutely, the judges should have to pay their fair share. Where are the folks who supported pension and benefit reform? Are they now walking away from their vote? Are they walking away from the significance of the action that they took in a bipartisan way with us? I don't think they will. I trust that they won't. And the other Democrats who are not supportive of pension and benefit reform and say that they're for the common worker in New Jersey need to stand up and be counted as well. So that's why we're here today. We're here to leave no ambiguity in the mind of the citizens of New Jersey of where the Republican Party stands on this very important issue, and where we'll continue to speak out on this important issue. And I'm proud of the colleagues I have standing behind me, those who currently serve in the legislature and the future legislators standing behind me as well. I'm proud to call them fellow Republicans. I'm proud to campaign with them, and I will be proud to serve with them. And if we take Republican majorities in both houses 2 weeks from today, you can be sure that if the courts make this decision and have it sustained through the Supreme Court, that there will be a question on the ballot in November 2012, and then we'll let the voters decide. Let the people decide whether there should be 2 classes of public servants, 500,000 who pay their fair share and 432 who don't. 500,000 who pay up to 50% of the cost of their pension, and 432 who pay less than 10% of the cost of their pension. This is not about judicial independence. This is about simple, fundamental fiscal fairness, which is what this party has stood for in all the time that I've been governor, and will continue to stand for as long as me and the people you see standing with me have positions of authority and influence in this state.